Hello, Cosmic Soul family. Ella Ivy here, Livzenastrology, going live here on a couple of different platforms simultaneously. I'm going on YouTube Live and I'm also here on TikTok with you guys. So thank you so much for being here. Looking at the top chat now. This is a place for you to ask metaphysical questions. We have a lot of energy going on right now. If you can see behind me, there's some serious energy happening. Let me go ahead and screen share my screen for you guys that are here on YouTube Live. And again, thank you so much for being here. This is an interesting dance that we're doing here cosmologically, you guys. We're in Pisces season, so it's the time to get metaphysical. It's time to go beyond the physical of what we know this reality to be. And so what I kind of wanted to look at today, I wanted it to be free flowing it. I'm intending it that those that are here to receive exactly what you're meant to receive at the exact time and space you're meant to receive it. Excuse me. Opening up my throat chakra. We're going to be looking at some of the astrology, the upcoming new moon in Pisces on March 19th. We are deeply in Pisces season, but also in Aries season. So there's a lot of, we've got Neptune and Saturn and Venus all in Aries right now, which is called a stellium. And you can see that up here when two or more planets or three more planets are together, then they create what's called a stellium. And then we've got Chiron next to Eris, which is Mars's sister. So she's the goddess of discord. So we can see there's a lot of discordant energy happening right now, especially with the divine feminine. Thank you guys so much for being here. Lovely Lux. I'm so glad you're here. It's nice to see you. A long time no see, sister. It's awesome. And anybody here that's live watching on YouTube as well, have the chat open. So let's just go ahead and take a look at, again, the energy. Oh, I think I stopped it. And I'm screen sharing here. Let's look at the energy, the astrology. So today we have the moon as is this today. It's being filmed. Today is March 12th. Shout out, happy birthday to one of my dear friends, Sister Joellen, Sarah Joellen, Gloria. She's got many names. She's a Pisces queen. Anyway, shout out to her, solar return. Today, the moon is in Capricorn. So our moon is our emotional nature, how we emotionally feel what it's in us to do, right? Again, it rules our emotions. And in Capricorn, it's about the boss, getting things done. It's work oriented. It's very much about being grounded because it's an earth sign, right? So we've got a lot of, and it's sextiling this energy right now. We actually have an exact sextile happening with the moon, which is 60 degrees. If you don't know what a sextile is, it's 60 degrees away from the north node of the moon. So it's what we're supposed to be learning. North node is what we've come here to learn as a collective. And right now, as a collective, we've come to learn Pisces, right? This is why I'm calling this the metaphysical hour, because it's things that are that happen beyond the physical, beyond the logical realm. In the realms of Pisces, it's very much 12th house matters. It has to do with the psychic, the mystic, things that are, again, beyond the physical that we can feel, which is kind of interesting because Capricorn, the moon, likes to feel things tactile, right? They like to feel things. They like to grab onto things. You know, they like to be able to see things as proof before they consider it real, right? And so but it's squaring also this Aries energy too. Today, the Capricorn is squaring Aries. So it's time to get to real work, right? Because Capricorn wants to work, but in what? Our spiritual practices, our ability to see beyond the physical, right? It's pushing us to develop businesses and be the boss of our own life in what? Our metaphysical realm, right? Invite that one, and see here, those that are joining here live. Let me just go ahead and check the YouTube, see if anybody's live here. Okay, so it says I got to sign in to chat. So let me go ahead and sign in here. So that way we can chat for those that are here. Okay. All right. Learning this technology game. It's kind of funny, especially during retrograde, right? It's like learning how to do multiple different things all at once. I'm going to go ahead and there we go. So that way you guys can see me. I hope you guys can. All right, let's do this. Let's just make this all happen. Oh, this is fun. Okay, so I wanted to invite you guys, anybody that's popping in and out. First of all, thank you. Welcome to this channel. And I want to invite you to have any questions, any comments, anything that you're going through. Right now, I've been really working and you guys here have seen some of my posts, been really studying Jordan Maxwell stuff lately and his downloads about and years of study. Actually, it's not just downloads. He spent 43 years on studying religion, um, our banking system, spirituality, how it's all connected, right? And then we know that what's happening on the world stage right now, this is a very much spiritual type of warfare that we're all going through. And I know I'm on YouTube as well, so I know I've got to kind of watch the things that I say. But I kind of want to, because I think a lot of us are coming online, especially with our spiritual gifts and our metaphysical gifts, our psychic gifts, our ability to see beyond, right? To tap into our own gnosis and to tap into our own, this is very much Aries, right? We've got Neptune, which is our spirituality, which rules Pisces, is in Aries. So we're being given individual downloads, uploads, awareness. If you're spending time in nature, if you're spending time with your physical practices, then this is the space for you to really understand and understand what is truth, what feels true, because there's so much of a deluge. It's almost like we're having another flood, right? And we talk about, this earth was flooded. Many religions talk about the earth flood. Well, right now we're being flooded or deluged with information. This is also Uranus getting ready to go into Gemini. It's on its last leg of Taurus, and that's going to be happening in April. So we've got planets moving forward right now, except for Mercury. It's making us go inward to find out what is truth. With all this information, all this intel, how do we know what truth really is? Well, we got to feel our way through it. My guides, my inner guidance system told me they told me to call it plasma brailing, right? So plasma brailing is like being able to feel your way through things without seeing it. It's almost like when a blind person can't see, and this is how they learn to read, they learn to read the energy. You got to feel your way through it. This is very much Pisces. So right now, what came into my field, for those of you who know who Pam Gregory is, she's an astrologer on YouTube primarily. I don't know if you guys, she's on YouTube for you guys, but I don't know if she's on your TikTok channel here. But she just had an interesting guest talking about water. Now, that's a very potent conversation to be having during Pisces season, because we're starting to understand that water is not what we've been taught or what we've been taught to think about what water is, that there's actually might be, based on those of you that follow the telepathy tapes and these autistic children who are being able to tap into other realms of consciousness, even though they have inabilities really to talk the way we do, they have different, if not more powerful abilities, because they can tap into the field of the collective where words can't enter, right? It's just like a deep knowing. And so a lot of these kids are talking about how there might be 9 states of matter, not just, the 4 or 5 states, including plasma, that we've all just kind of come to recognize, but there's different states of water. And the power of cymatics, how we change our water through our frequency, through our vibration. I actually have a tuning fork here that I'm going to be tuning up anybody that's here that wants to tune up. This is called the Sonic Slider, and this is by Eileen McCusick. So shout out to Eileen McCusick out here, who has she's actually an inventor as well. She's been working with tuning forks for over 30 years, and she's created her own tuning fork. It's 93.96 hertz. It's basically the Earth's frequency, which is 7.82 hertz, multiplied that times 12, which I really like because, I follow the 12 signs of the zodiac. And of course, the 13th hidden sign, which is the deep Christ consciousness, which is like the center point, right? That's how I see it anyway. These astrological planes of existence, these planetary energies, which I see as planes of energy. And I forgot to put up the graphic that I created. I had chat made me, because I was going through this really deep awareness today about the divine feminine and the image. Let me see if I can even pull it up here, because I think I can stop screen sharing here, and let me get to, because I want to share with you guys this image. It makes let's see. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to share my chat. I can't show it to you guys on TikTok because I didn't preempt this, but I'll show it to you later on. This image that I got, or you guys can jump on YouTube. I don't know, they don't want you to do that, but stay on TikTok. But I wanted to show you this really fascinating image. Let me see, open slide bar. Yeah. Of what I received, cosmic wombs. Here it goes. And again, on YouTube, you guys can see this. Right, so this is just kind of a deep dive I did with the energy. Hold on here. Hold on. Got to go all the way up to, there we go. So this is the image that I kind of got downloaded as far as like, and what I'm looking at, guys, it's like, because there's a lot of debate whether the earth is flat or whether the earth is round. And in my meditation, I saw that the earth kind of had like a flat plane and different domes. I see us living in a type of terrarium, if you will. And I saw too that there was this tree of life in the center, and there was divine females that had womb spaces that almost look impregnated with each planet, and each of their crowns were facing this tree. And so I was really contemplating like the divine mother, the secret hidden divine mother, and how the divine mother is really coming back online. And so what does that look like? You know, they call also the sleeping mother, how we've been asleep to our consciousness. It's almost like we've been in this not hypnotic state, but almost cryostasis, if you will, because I was downloaded and shown that all reality, all creation comes from a womb. Okay. And so that's a deep type of contemplation to really go into, that all things created in this material realm come from a womb space. So when I think of Saturn, a lot of times, and this is, again, I'm willing to even reconfigure the way I've learned astrology, because the way we've learned astrology is that Saturn is represented by the father, right? And then the moon, the mother. However, however, if all creation comes from a womb, then perhaps Saturn is the great grandmother, because she's got the rings. She's the container for all reality. She contains time, and time is what creates this construct that we find ourselves in, right? So with time being a construct and Saturn having the rings around the planet, it's almost like a womb space, right? It holds all this energy. It holds material matter, which is very much Capricorn. It rules Capricorn. And the moon is in Capricorn today. So maybe this is why I'm talking about this, is that all creation comes from wombs. And so what if the womb of Saturn is really the great grandmother, and that she's giving birth to all our realities in our material form, right? And we've got Saturn in Aries right now. So, and Neptune and Saturn have not been conjunct or next to each other in Aries at 0 degrees in our lifetime for thousands of years. So this is a new configuration. It's almost like a new seed, a new gestation is being birthed through us, through our consciousness. Aries through Mars, our action, what we're putting our focus on. There's things that are dissolving through Pisces, right? I think about going to the ocean, and things are going back to dissolve back into the ocean. And they're old constructs that were based on illusion, because Pisces also has to deals with the illusion and what's false, what really doesn't, has been the lie, because the disagreeable aspect of Pisces is where we've been lied to, where we lie to ourselves, where our consciousness has been commandeered, right? You remember the adage, I forgot who said it, but it said, you know, give me the boy or the girl before the age of 7, and I'll show you the man or the woman. And so we can tell now through Aries, and we've also got right now Eris, which is Aries' sister, the goddess of discord, is right next to Chiron, which is our wounds. And so the wounds are saying we have invoked these wounds from childhood, from the very beginning of our incarnation into this plane of existence, through different mechanisms. You know what I'm talking about, different jabbas and different things that we received from when we were first born, when we were first incarnated, right? And so this is the time for us to really be awake and aware to perhaps the systems that we've been taught on how these things work, how these things operate is not based on truth, or it's the foundation of those in power, right? It's just giving credence to those who possibly created this reality construct. And again, I don't go too much into the conspiracy, and yet, however, every conspiracy, it seems like, has been true. So this is up for us to, release our cognitive dissonance and really step into that we don't know really what this reality is about. We don't even know, again, is the earth flat? Everybody thinks they know, and they're trying to get the science behind it. And I've got all the science and logic to back it up. But if the science has been commandeered, if we've been lied to about everything, even the way our bodies work, our healthcare system works, everything works, it doesn't make sense. At this point, this is what a Pisces is saying, is like, look, eliminate everything you think you know and step into the unknown, step into your deep unconscious. And so, and you can only really do that through breath work, through meditation, through intending, through to access your unconscious realms, the subconscious realms. And that's through your spiritual practices. You can only get there through being quiet, through learning how to breathe. You can even actually activate DMT in your own brain by doing holotropic breath work, right? And then when you get into those states with certain substances, and you don't even have to take the medicine, you can just evoke these chemicals and things within you, right? So this is an invitation. I hope you guys can hear me okay. This is an invitation, again, to do your own deep dive and to go into your own self and learn to trust what you see, because our imagination is powerful. Imagination is what creates our reality. And if our imagination's been commandeered, think about it as kids, right? Oh, you're just imagining it. That's not real. Well, what if we were tapping in? What if we were naturally, doing remote viewing or astral projecting or just our natural states? Again, if we've been told that that's false, that don't do that, right? And even been punished in some religions for having your own creative life force energy, your own imagination, then you can see where that's been a problem in this realm, where we really have been harmed in that way by keeping us from ourselves, right? And again, I'm not blaming my parents, I'm not blaming any grandparents. They did the best they could with what they knew. But when you know better, you do better. And that's what this time period is saying right now, is look, we've got to know better so we can do better. And the only way to go into that deep gnosis really is by going inwards. This is that retrograde period, right? So I'm going to be, again, looking at the astrology here, because we also have some interesting transits right now approaching. So we've got the vernal equinox, which is happening on March 20th, right? That's the real new year, if you're following cycles and you're following patterns in nature, right? So the spring is always the new year. That's March 20th. That's also when Mercury begins its ingress going forward. So it's going to stop its retrograde. It's going to be in its shadow period till about April 4th, but it's going to start moving forward, right? So our thoughts, after we spend this time going inwards, really reflecting what is truth, what is spirituality, what is real, then we're going to start projecting that outward, and we're going to start using this Aries energy, which is initiation, beginning, starting a new dream, a new reality based on our imagination. It's like commandeering the ship. You got to take control of your imagination and not allow yourself to get distracted by what's going on in the world stage. That's why managing your frequency is so important right now. Learning to maintain and manage your frequency. That's why I have tools like the tuning fork, right? Like Eileen McCusick. Why I use crystals right now. So today is Thursday. It's a Jupiter day. It's ruled by the number 3, and it's also influenced by the color blue, which is why I'm wearing a deep dark blue, right? I'm even using crystals, lapis lazuli, right? I call it the layering effect. I layer on these different tools and use them consistently because I understand how everything's vibration. And when I'm using and participating with certain tools like crystals or oils or tuning forks, my own breath, I've got a grounding mat right now on my feet as I'm talking to you guys, because I understand I need to be grounded because I'm an electrical being. We're bioelectrical magnetic beings. The magnetic part of us is the feminine, and the electric part of us is the masculine, right? So my favorite color is navy blue. Yeah, then you probably have an influence of Jupiter or of Sagittarius, because Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So that's also another thing too, to start paying attention to the colors that you like and your favorite colors, because it also means you might have a lot to say that has the rules the throat chakra, right? And how we speak, our ability to tell the truth is also very Jupiter, to share our wisdom, higher level thinking. This is also very Jupiter. So this is the time for us to really step into our own power, our own gnosis. We've got Mars right now in Pisces, so think of like fire being in water. For those of us who are experiencing this energy, you might feel tired more, you want to rest more. It's like you want to get up and go, Mars, but then Pisces is like dampens you with water, right? It's just like, okay, maybe a lot of work and energy you're spending is in the dream state. So I would invite you guys also to keep a dream journal, because there's a lot of activity right now happening in the collective unconscious. So our dream state's been fantastical right now. So if you can write down, write upon it, intend to remember what you're going to dream about before going to sleep, because again, Mars is active in what? The unconscious realms, the subconscious realms. And so if you really want to know how to navigate this particular reality timeline, you can start astral projecting and really getting into these other states of consciousness. Now I would invite you to also to do like an astral hygiene before you go to bed. Make sure to wash your feet, because feet rules Pisces, which is the dream state. So I know it's kind of a weird thing, but I like to wash my feet. It's kind of like a ritual that I know I'm getting ready to go into these astral states. So I want to make sure to go clear and connected, safe when I'm in my bed. I even carry a crystal underneath my pillow. Again, I have grounding sheets that I sleep on because I understand the importance of being grounded. And then I feel safer. I wake up less sore. My body's not so, contracted. I also have a Faraday pouch for my computer and for my phone. So I make sure to put my phone and my computer in Faraday. So this, where I got it from, is called Slint, and it's the military actually made it. So if you don't want to be found in your electromagnetic devices, it completely blocks out all the electromagnetic devices. Because I was noticing that even putting my phone on airplane mode wasn't cutting it. Right? I was still feeling, because I've taken so much time to understand my thoughts, that when I think weird thoughts, I understand that it's not coming from me, that it's coming outside of me, because I can feel the difference now. I've played enough with this energy where I'm really learning discernment on what's my own thoughts, or what are my own thoughts, and then what I'm picking up from the collected or from my technology, right? Because we understand that this thing kind of runs us like a battery, right? Our phones can really plug in, and now there's some technology that says our phones can even pick up what we're thinking, and they can create images based on our dream states and what we're thinking about. That's why a lot of us think that our phone is listening to us, right? It's like, how did our phone know that I was looking for this? Well, because it's always listening, right or wrong, good or bad. It's just, can't you block the thoughts out? Yes, but it takes practice, because I'm noticing it's like a radio station. It's kind of like a radio station playing in the distance that I can't turn off. So that's when I start using my mantras, right? Om Mani Padme Om is a good one. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. That's a tattoo I have on my arm. It says let all beings everywhere be happy and free, and let everything I do, say, and think contribute to that happiness and freedom. It's my mantra. So I just started going into mantra mode. And again, tapping, breath work, this all helps to block out. And then my visual like to use is a honeycomb shaped bocce ball, almost like a soccer ball that's got those 6 sides and looks like a honeycomb. I imagine that wrapped around me in a golden light so that I can't get bombarded by these frequencies. And that, again, that's just using my imagination the best I can to help I don't want to say block out the energies, but as they're coming to me, how I'm imagining it is that they come in certain waves. They're all fragmented, disoriented. And then my energy field is just so coherent that when this wave comes in, it has to stabilize and get coherent if it comes into my field, because I do my best to maintain a stable and coherent electromagnetic field around me at all times. And so it's a practice, guys. It's a practice using consciousness, imagination, belief. And sometimes I even have to say, I transcend, even if I don't believe this, because we're in Moon and Capricorn right now, and Capricorn likes proof, right? Well, I want to believe that this stuff is happening. Well, that part of my mind that needs that, I'm just bypassing that, because that's a program too. So I'm saying, even if I believe it or don't believe it, I choose to experience this level of coherence that I've never got to experience before for myself and everyone around me, because I also know how that I influence my neighbors, my friends, my county, right? We don't know how big our systems are, right? Our bioelectrical field. It can be, they say it's 6 feet, but I think when you really start doing work and start tuning yourself up, like with the tuning forks, literally, or you go out and ground and you set the intention, you can balloon your energy out, shoot across the United States, across all the continents, across this whole earthly plane, whatever it's flat or around, whatever you consider, you can blow out and balloon out your energy to that level. If you believe, if you can imagine it, and again, transcending belief, even if you don't believe you can do that, say, I'm going to transcend my own beliefs, my own limiting beliefs right now, and I'm going to step into a field that's unknown, that is magical and mystical. This is, again, the divine feminine. So this is learning to honor our own and nurture our own feminine nature, which is our magnetism, our ability to magnetize and not work, right? Because anytime I've heard this podcaster say this, specifically Savon Bomar, when you work, you're at war with yourself, right? When we worship, right? We worship something, we're at war with things. And so our natural state is to be in bliss and harmony and to do what comes naturally to us, those things that are gifts that are naturally shared. But in this inverted reality, it's like, well, you have to, do the grind and 40 hours a week and this whole sense of self-worth. If you got to work hard, play hard. And again, that's all a program, because I feel and believe and know that that's not our natural state. Our natural state is to be in harmony all around us and to do what's in front of you to do, and do it with joy and reverence. And it's natural. It's like effortless, right? And then you get paid for it because people see that you're being your authentic self. They love your gifts. You're ballooning out that energy around you, and then people just naturally want to give to you. And this has been such a long journey for me to understand this whole currency process. And I did one of my videos, you guys can check out on my channel, where we talked about currency being time. Because on these platforms now, if you guys are doing any kind of media content or start filming or sharing yourself, if you look at the analytics, these platforms pay you on how much time was watched. They even get it down to the hour and the minute, right? So it's like they're going to pay you for your content, how much time somebody spent watching you. They're going to take the current that was generated, which is your currency, which is your energy, right? Your own electromagnetic field. And they're going to give you a portion back to that, because that's why everybody wants you on their platform, right? That's why, they want you to make videos, wherever you're going, they want you to make videos on their platform, because you're giving them your current, right? And then people are taking their time, their most important resource, spending watching you, which that means they're exerting their current, and then they're going to give you a portion of that current back to yourself in the form of payment, in the form of money, currency. So it's very interesting how this whole thing. Yes, Nativ Cove, by the way, nice to see you again. And it is very creepy. And it's strange when you really start understanding, especially going back to Jordan Maxwell and him connecting the dots for me about currency and current and the banking systems and maritime law, and how all this stuff is based on this certain language, right? Legalese, which is what we don't normally speak. It's like a whole nother language that's being propagated. This also has to do with Mercury, right? And how we think. Because if you can command the language, then you can command perception. And so how we understand this reality is based on what we're perceiving. And so who's controlling the perception? Who controls the language? How has this language been formed? It's such a deep process. And I would invite you, this is what I do. I go to the way showers and the elders that I resonate with, that I could just feel when they're speaking truth. I feel it deeply. I call it the quickening. I just feel it in my body and my nervous system when somebody's speaking truth. It has a vibration, it has a specific frequency. And so I'm learning these things, but I also have to unlearn. This is a process. We have to unlearn everything we think we know to relearn these new ways of how energy really works, of how this reality really works. And I'll tell you, the more I step into it, the more I realize, shit, I don't really know anything. I thought I knew it. I thought I had a handle on my reality. And, especially with astrology and preaching all the archetypes and studying this stuff for over 25 years. And there was at one point that I'm like, do I have to throw astrology out with the bathwater? Do I have to throw everything else, even astrology, wrong? Like what? But then I kind of went through a dark night of the soul, another dark night of the soul. And I realized, no, there's lies interwoven with truth in this reality. And instinctually, I know that. So it's up to me to filter out what is truth and what is the lie. So there's aspects to astrology that I think are actually very, very paramount, very foundational, very true. And I think there's aspects to astrology that, again, need to be reconfigured and rethought about, and just using our own gnosis, right? Even just sitting with the symbols. That's why I love symbology. And it's like hieroglyphics, because the symbols bypass language. And if the language has been hijacked or commandeered, then these symbols have a deep remembrance where in our DNA, in our own gnosis, in our own field. It's like a quickening, right? Because there's just certain symbols that are universal that activate whoever sees these symbols. And the people in power know that. That's why they use symbols and sigils and to create these egregors, and their giant corporations, their corpses, right? They're non-living beings that they give life to, that we give life to based on what? Our attention, our focus. We are so powerful. I love this image. I've been working with it because this is how I see my electric current, my electric field. It's almost like a torque field that's constantly spinning, constantly moving. And I can charge the energy. We charge the field, and we literally create reality based on where we give our focus. So right now, our focus has been a lot of times commandeered on. I'm thinking too. One of the viewers asked about, they want to know more about the difference between Mars and wars, because if you think about it, wars upside down is Mars. And Mars, in its most agreeable aspect, is the planet of protection. It's our protective planet. Think of like a womb, right? It's the belly around the womb. It's the membrane that surrounds all of life. It's there to protect life. But if it's been inverted into wars, right, just changing the letter from M to W, right, can create it. It's almost like we're creating soldiers who are like that are harming people rather than the protective mode that they were created in, if this makes sense. I was wondering for a while now, can we produce infinite energy? Yes, we absolutely can. I firmly know and believe that we can, because we've already tapped into free energy. It's all around us. It's called the plasma and cold fusion. And that's why I was really into this latest podcast with Pam Gregory and this guy about water, because that's what he's talking about. How literally water is, in its different states, a form of electricity, a form of energy that we can tap into because it's all around us. It's like we're fish swimming in water and we don't know we're fish swimming in water. It's a form of water. It's a form of current. We just haven't really been introduced to it, right? It's just, we are all still, again, having to unlearn to relearn what is really going on around us. And so while Mars is in Pisces, our North Node is in Pisces, they're conjunct today right now at 8 degrees. It's also sextiling this, our moon, our need to know. And Capricorn wants to ground it in, right? So this is also working with structured water, being able to tone your water using certain vibrations with water. I actually like to tune with my tuning fork. I like to tune my water up before I imbibe with it or drink it. I like to bless it, put it on my forehead. Like right now, I made myself hibiscus tea, and I like to just, say thank you and just maybe tone it and ohm it, using my own vibration. I mean, because why not? It's like we're having to, again, unlearn to relearn these things. And even if it seems silly or weird to do, well, nobody's around anyway. Who cares? It's like we're here to be silly and unique and authentic in our authentic selves. Because if it works and it's helping you, then it can't be wrong, right? Whatever gets you through the night, it's all right. It's all right. That's a song out there in the 70s or 80s. You guys are, I'm a Gen Xer, so I'm thinking about music right now. But okay, so for anybody that's here, I want to go ahead and pull a card, because I've been working with, again, the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. This, I like it because, again, we're living in the waking dream right now. But where do you get back that energy? Well, energy, I feel It's a great question. Energy's never lost. It's recreated, it's transformed. So when we think about, you know, I think about like when you make a meal, you go and make a dinner and you take different herbs and you take whatever you're cooking and you heat it, you chop it up, right? And it becomes something else. You never lose what it is. It just changes into something that you can digest and that you can imbibe with. That's how I think of energy and transformation in the art of alchemy, because no energy is lost. You just got to take it, you got to recirculate it in a way that benefits you. And this is where the invitation really is to use your imagination. Imagine yourself, well, how can I generate more current? What would that even look like? And again, I like to look at things around me in the physical, very, again, Capricorn. I think about how a car engine works. And a lot of times our body system is corresponding and correlating to a vehicle. We have to change our filters. We've got sacred oils that we got to change, right? We got to make sure our car is washed. So I look at the correspondences again, as above, so below, on how this operating system works, because a lot of engines and things that we designed as humans is based on what we do naturally in the physical body, right? There's a correspondence there. So, look at how your car's running. How's your car running? That also has to do with how's your body running, right? How does your house look around you? Because how you house your energy is going to represent your outer house system. Do you have clutter? Is there a mess around? Is there, things from the past, or things that are not serving you, things that that, pieces, like if you look at a cluttered corner and you walk by it and just avoid it, you're like, I'll do that tomorrow, I'll do that later. That's actually affecting your bioelectric field, how energy moves around you. I think of like spinning vortexes, and if there's debris, right, there's things in the way, then it can't spin properly. So this is the importance too at the South Node Virgo, reminding us how we need to take care of ourselves and what we do daily. The daily practices that we have within our bodies, or the actions that we take for our bodies, is going to dictate the reality that we project outside of us. So the better you feel, the better your routines are, and self-nurturance, taking care of yourself. This is also Jupiter in Cancer. How you love yourself, how you talk to yourself, how you talk to your bodies. 33 is actually a magical number. If you're talking about 33 years, that's how Jesus. And I also think too, we've got 33 vertebrae. 33 is a magic number, right? That's why a lot of the cultists use 33, right? 33 Masons, because you have to reach a certain degree, a degree of awareness before you can start really embodying the wisdom behind these concepts, right? So for those that study, that are in this, what are the Masons, right? These secret societies, they all know this. They all have an understanding of this. 33, you'll die soon. No, the funny thing is, they say Jesus died, but then he came back to life. So that, if you really want to go into that whole Christos consciousness with the oil dying on the cross, which is really the cross in your head, check out Santos Bonacci. He really goes into the Christos and the oils, and how literally we're reborn every month when the sun and the moon are aligned in the same sign. So in other words, if your sun sign is Scorpio, for example, every time once a month, when the moon ingresses into Scorpio, that means it's aligning. That's your Christos. So that means when your sun and the moon are aligned, that means a whole new oil, a whole new regenerative process starts. And during that 3-day window, it's actually 2.5 days is when the moon moves through a sign. For those 2.5 days, when the sun and the moon are in the same sign you were born, that's your ability to regenerate. That's when they say that's the potent time to fast, right? To not have sexual energy, or not to express your sex, because you're using that Kundalini life force to regenerate and to rebuild your cells. So there's a pivotal window that, again, we've kind of lost our gnosis on, but we have way showers like Santos Bonacci and others who are bringing this wisdom back, right? These wisdom keepers who are reminding us, look, death is not a thing. You have your ability to rejuvenate your cells. Even the science that gave us up to this far, they said our cells, rejuvenate every 7 years. So every 7 years, you have a different set of cells. You literally are a brand new being. in which I find interesting. Uranus transits through a sign for 7 years, right? So Uranus has changed our electrical system. So Uranus has been in Taurus for the last 7 years, and now it's getting ready to ingress into Gemini. So Taurus is the body. It's an earth sign. It has to do with our money, our values, how we see ourselves, how we be in our bodies. And then now it's getting ready to ingress into Gemini. So it's going to be about the mind, how we think, how we perceive. And so for 7 years, we're going to be our mind. What's going to be reconfigured? Our mental landscape, our right and our left hemispheres, even how we think about our brain and consciousness and who we are as a connection. I mean, all this is going to be shifted for the next 7 years, and this starts in April. So again, this is like a time clock. It's just following patterns, just following well, yeah, 7 for me, it's much more frequent. Well, it depends on your numerology too. We have 7 days. I hate saying days of the week because I think of like days are confused, and then week, we're weekend. So a 7 moment, 7 cycles of the strong, let's just say, or 7 cycles of funning instead of working, right? Just again, modifying the language as much as we can. I learned a lot of this from again, Savan Bomar. You can check him out on Understanding on his social media platforms, because he reminds all of us who are part of that community to upgrade the language, to upgrade how we speak about our reality, because we spell cast on ourselves all the time. Unbeknownst to us, we could probably be spell casting things that have been to our detriment, like the weekend, right? The weekdays. And I think of dazed and confused and weekend. It's just, again, trying to upgrade all of it, all the reality. And I also wanted to talk about too this approaching current of energy with the new moon in Pisces that's going to be happening right before the vernal equinox. So we have the new moon in Pisces on the 19th. We have Mercury getting ready to go direct on the 20th, right before the vernal equinox on the 20th. So there's this, another, again, pivotal window where Pisces is dissolving all false beliefs, all things we thought we knew about reality that were not founded on truth. All that's dissolving. It's being brought to light, all the imbalances, especially in our spiritual communities. There's this time, the ending of the guru and the savior. It's time to let that go, because there's nothing outside of you that's going to save you, not even your government. What's going to save you is your own consciousness, is your own connection to your own source, divine energy, whatever you call that. I no longer call it God, because under my deep dive, I've understood that the name God is actually a Germanic God named Good. That's why they say God is good, right? God, good. And he's actually his mythology is actually based on a war god, right? So if we keep praying to these gods and things outside of us, we don't know what we're invoking. We don't know what we're invoking when we invoke these deities or these things outside of us, from my understanding. So I'm just very cognizant. I'm like, I'm not going to invoke anything outside of me anymore, because I don't know what I'm invoking. I really don't. And I think of like the usual suspects. Everybody here is, praying and invoking in this certain deity. And then, we have all this warfare. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. Right. So we really need to start looking at the language and who we're invoking in, and who we're praying to, and who we're submitting to, and who we're bowing down to be the savior, to save us. When all this Aries is showing me, look, you're going to save yourself. This is about the time of the sovereign. And the sovereign doesn't look outside oneself to save you. The sovereign learns and connects to your own inner power, your own electromagnetic frequency, and knows how to power that up so you can have a generative force within you. This is what this whole Freemason, you look at the compass going up and down with the G in the middle. That's to generate. It's not God, it's the generative force of natural intelligence. And that generative force of natural intelligence lives within you. It's an inside out projection. So it's a matter of turning on your toric field. Actually, it's already turned on. Just being aware you have a toric field that's constantly moving. But if you're giving your energy and your power away to these outside sources, these outside deities, then you're minimizing your own toric ability to magnetize your reality, to magnetize things and places and people that would benefit you, and that and where you can benefit others, right? If you don't have a lot of energy to give, then you can't sustain somebody else, and you can't really give to others if your cup is empty. I think of like this, this teacup, right? It's full right now. And I love to share because it's a full cup. I pour into myself every day as part of my practice of making sure, Virgo, I'm on my routine of nurturing myself, making sure I have everything that this vehicle needs to run so that I can be of service to you guys. For those that come into my being, that goes to those that come into my field, I can really truly be of service because I know how to service myself. I know how to pour into myself. And that's also something that we haven't been taught, especially as women. And I only speak from a woman. Again, I try to transcend gender, but in this reality, being a woman, we've been indoctrinated to just give unconditionally. And unconditional love is fine, but it's almost like this martyrdom. It's this service to others constantly, and not know how to receive, right? It's because it doesn't complete the current. If you're just going one way, always this way, that there is, and you don't know how to receive the energy, then you're not in balance. And so it's about learning the laws of reciprocity, of understanding how this energy works. Again, I'm still learning myself, so I feel like the more that I talk about it and engage in this type of conversations so that we can teach each other, because I honestly believe that we're not here to be each other's gurus or teachers anymore at all. I feel that those that are into any kind of metaphysics, astrology, numerology, etiology, any of these ologies, right? Logos, the study of something, I believe already lives in your DNA. It already lives in your Akashic, which is in your cells, your water, your bodies of water, which is in your own DNA. And so you just have to activate it by remembering, by choosing to remember. And it's a process. It's because I feel like we already, again, have this innate knowledge and wisdom within us. We just forgot, we've been asleep to our own power. And that's been, done in, excuse me. That's been done intentionally. Let me drink a sip of tea here. I've got some hibiscus, honey, lemon myrtle, and orange peel tea going on right now. It's very soothing for my throat because I start talking a lot and then I just get all, my eyes got watery. Okay. So continuing on, I want to again pull cards for anybody that's here because I love doing that. I love the artistic visual of cards and just some messages that anybody that's connected to this channel right now, if you're ready to receive, my intention is that you receive exactly the message that's meant for you to help to empower and ignite and inspire and just help you be the best version of yourself. I don't accept cards. Okay, that's okay. This doesn't have to be for you. Just again, filter through whatever feels good, and what doesn't feel good, that's okay too. This is just for those who like to play with cards. And again, it's about empowering messages, and it's about empowering the psyche, and it's about empowering the spirit, right? So this is just one form of divination. And again, this is metaphysical. It's beyond the physical. So yeah, and it really just depends too on how people use the cards, because again, we got to really use our discernment about the charlatan thing. Because some people use cards. It's like any tool, right? They can use it nefariously. It's just how you use it. Same thing with chat, same thing with anything, any technology. It's how you use it. So the way I'm intending to use this particular set of cards for anybody that's willing to receive is for your empowerment, for inspiration, and just again to help you be the best version of yourself, because we have many versions, we have many parallel selves running at many different times. And so this is to help you activate your most harmonious, balanced, loving, healthy, abundant self is the intention. So if you don't want to, this is not prediction. It's just more of what's happening in the now. I don't necessarily do prediction only because I feel like we're in such a pivotal time period where we're transcending time. So everything is only happening in the now. So there's no way if an astrologer tells you that they can have a prediction of what's happening, they're just based on old reality timelines and they're not living in the now, in my personal opinion, in my humble personal opinion. That's why I don't even mess with prediction future. Um, I just, I do what's in front of me to do, and I do it what feels best. And so my timelines are always shifting because an old version of me yesterday may have done something out of obligation, but then I have a moment, I have an awareness, I'll go outside, I meditate, and then source tells me a different way reality works. And I'm like, oh, so I don't have to be obligated anymore. I don't have to do those things I think I need to do to because I was people pleasing instead of really doing what was in my heart to do. So yeah, I just go with the now moment, and I just really come from that now space. That's why I decided to jump on here, do the metaphysical hour, because I'm doing it every Friday nights at 7 p.m. But I was called to also do it tonight because I feel like there's people floating in and out that may need this message, that may need to connect to this type of content, this type of information for their betterment. That's again my intention. So going ahead, and again, for anybody that's here just to receive what you're meant to receive, any message of empowerment, inspiration, something that's going to help you connect to your best version self. This is for anybody that's watching now in this live, for you to receive that in the manner it was given, with love, with unconditional love, and perfect health and harmony and balance. Okay, hollow bone teachability. I think it's funny. Here I am saying, we're not here to teach anybody. And then the card I get is teachability. I think that's hilarious. Okay. For those that are watching here, teachability. So this reminds me of the ancestors. And, we do have the moon in Capricorn right now, which is ruled by Saturn, which I believe and feel and know that Saturn in her, I would say, in her hidden self is feminine. Saturn is feminine. It's the grandmother. And so what this hollow bone is like, going to our bones, because Capricorn also rules bones. We hold bones. To me, bones are our crystals. We hold crystals inside of us. And so this is going back to our ancestors, what we already know to be true. And if you look at that card as well, guys, I'm going to put this close here too, if you guys can see it. It almost looks like a flute. So again, playing a new tone, a new harmony, a new frequency, a new vibration is what it's being invoked in by the ancestors, right? So, and I was hearing flute playing the other day when I got the download about Saturn being feminine. And so it's no accident that my ancestors are coming in and saying, remember who you are, remember what this reality is really made of, and it's not what you've been taught. So this is a very pivotal time to maybe reconstruct or deconstruct even what we projected into the reality, even astrologically. I'm willing to throw it all away and see what's left standing, right? And what's left standing a lot of the times, especially astrologically, are the symbols themselves, bypassing words, right? Bypassing language, because again, language has been commandeered to spellcast, and we're spellcasting on ourselves and one another all the time. So the teachability I'm hearing is we need to unlearn to relearn, and do that through your own gnosis, and do it through sound, through vibration, through having fun, Aries, right? To connecting to nature, to earth. I'm even seeing drum circles and just beating on a drum or blowing on a flute or playing some instrument, because that's also cymatics. And that's the way that we can connect to the divine source within us, again, bypassing language and the spell casting. And for those of you who tapped into your light language, this is an invitation also to tap into your light language, right? Again, and access the ancestors through your own DNA, through your own bones, whatever that means, because we hold these codes within us. We just have to remember, you already hold the key. This is not something you're learning outside of you anymore. This is not no savior is going to come and no, this is you stepping up and stepping into your sovereignty and your power, and remembering who you are, using your imagination and stepping into your own gnosis. And it's a process, guys. It's a process of unlearning to relearn. And it's a delicate process. So be gentle with yourself. We're not going to get this. I mean, we're infinite beings, right? We're here just for a breath, a moment in time and space. So while you're here, make the choice to be happy, Make the choice to be peaceful, make the choice to be your most harmonious, balanced, blessed, beautiful self, and then share that version of yourself with others. So, okay, let's see. It's making me want to do that. Unable to verify. Oh, it's okay. Hold on. Wait a minute. Okay, there we go. Sorry, guys. Just trying to kick me off here because I'm only going to go live for an hour, I guess. So let me go ahead and pull 2 more cards for whoever this is supposed to be for. Again, this is for the collective energy, whoever this is supposed to be for in the now. We've already got the teachability card, which is accessing the ancestors. So just inviting in the ancestors. What else do you have to share with us in this now time moment, in this metaphysical field in Pisces time, as we are moving beyond the physical and stepping into our true gnosis of who we are, bypassing language, bypassing our old thought forms. So, okay, the card that came through is wall obstacles. So your own thoughts are your obstacles, right? How you think right now may be your own imprisonment. So where have you walled yourself up? I'm hearing to protect yourself. This is also another download that I'm receiving because a lot of us that, especially since we know that we're in the spiritual warfare and everything that's going on with these files, and I'm not going to give that verbiage too much, that egregor too much energy, but we know what I'm talking about. That the walls, because I thought of too when I've gone in deep meditation with the word safe, and my ancestors showed me like a safe, like where you put money, right? You have to, and it's like you have a code and you create the safe to carry the things that are important to you. But that safe over time, to feel safe, it's almost created your own prison. It's like you box yourself in. I guess I think of this, because for foundation is also the pyramid. It's also a square, right? Think of the square technology, which we use every day with our computers and our phone. There's a reason why there's a square. Books are square, right? Because what it does is it creates boundaries. It's how we house energy with these squares. So where have you bound yourself in your own thoughts, your own fears, right? To keep you safe, but you've imprisoned yourself. And so you hold the key, you hold the codes to unbind yourself and get yourself out of this wall, this prison of the mind. This is very much Mercury and Pisces, and it's retrograde. So you can dissolve these things within you. You just have to choose to intend to. Just say anywhere that I've had to keep myself safe. And there was a time when we did have to keep ourselves safe because we were in the hell realms, right? Our consciousness was commandeered to create hell on earth. Look at the things that have been shown in these files. You know what I'm talking about. These horrific things we have, because of our consciousness, because we didn't understand how our own consciousness works. We help co-collaborate and co-create these horrendous things because we gave it focus unintentionally. We didn't know we were giving it focus. And I think I would invite you to go in and study your deep dive with Disney and all the symbolisms and the snuff shit, and excuse my language, but the stuff that they put in to actually hijack our young consciousness, right? So this stuff's deep. It's deep, deep, deep. But we have the keys and the codes within us. We just have to remember. And that's why a lot of us here are being compelled to jump on here and share our authentic selves and just share what we know to hopefully help you guys remember that this thing is not what it seems. It's not. We've been taught what it is, so we have to unlearn to relearn. The Lion King, yeah, but even and then it's still showing symbols, and this is something I've deep dived with too. If you look at a lot of the Disney shows, one of the parents always gets killed. Really deep dive with that. How come there's always a parent being killed? Right? Even with Bambi, with the Lion King, why is that? Right? Because we're in a death cult. Because those in powers worship a death cult. They worship the set, right? You have the sun of God, and then the sunset, which is the opposite. It's a polarity game of light and dark, good and bad, good versus evil. That's what this game this is about. Again, I don't have all the answers, but I just know when I've been shown is to watch everything with my third eye open. Every movie moving forward, again, put it through that filtration system, because when you decide to turn on your third eye and watch these things, you're going to see a whole different thing than what they've been projecting, which I find very, 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 very interesting. So yeah, that's just an invitation to, I call it conscious movie watching. Really, really be mindful of what you're watching and then watch it with your third eye on. And I guarantee you're going to see things you've never seen before. You probably have your favorite movie. I'm like, well, I'm going to watch it with my third eye on. And then you see things you're like, holy shit, that's been there the whole time. What? I do that with every movie now. It's just like, gosh, dang, dude, this is everywhere. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. So that's what I'm just kind of waking up to. And so I just wanted to invite you again, if you're watching movies and doing these things, I'm not telling you not to, because I still enjoy it. It's entrainment. How I'm being entrained now, I'm at least cognizant of who's doing the entertaining, intertraining, if you will. So yeah, that's what wanted to come through. So let's go ahead and pull a third card. This is again for anybody that's here that's watching for in the now or the now time future. If they're watching this on replay, again, this card pull is help. The intention is to inspire, to ignite, and to empower you to be your best version self, whatever that is for you. And so that's the intention, and I hope that that's how you receive these messages. We're here for us, for all of us that are a vibrational match to this channel, because we all are operating on a certain vibration right now if you're here. And so it's not, and it may not be for everybody. And it's not intended to be for everybody. It's only intended to be for those that are vibrational match to be here. So as soon as I have a little bit, I love these cards. They just tickle me. Mindful groupthink. Mindful groupthink is the card. So what I'm seeing for this is we influence each other, whether we realize it or not. Our words, our language, our vibration, we are constantly influencing one another. So again, look at this beautiful. We can either create heaven on earth or hell on earth. And what I've seen is that so far our consciousness has been used to create hell on earth in some levels. But then it also can be used if we take our power back and realize that our imagination, who we hang around, who we're being influenced by, is going to expand our energy field. And we're going to get into this like-minded, like-hearted group consciousness construct. And so it's what I'm seeing too is roses, trees, being out in nature, right? Right now, I'm being called to be in the consciousness of nature, because nature is symbiotic. She's here to love us, right? She's here to sustain us. Anytime you go and you put your, by a tree or put your bare feet in the earth or smell a flower or connect to the elementals, whether you believe in, the gnomes or the fairies, the Sasquatch, right? Whatever you're allowing yourself to tune into. Again, we're transcending this disconnect, again, as a kid. Oh, you're just imagining it. What if you did see fairies when you were younger? And you did have this connection to the elementals and to nature in this very unique, beautiful way. But then you were taught to, oh, well, you're just imagining it. And yet we were taught to believe in Santa Claus. What? Again, this inverted reality. We just have to realize, like, man, what we think we thought we knew is nothing to what this reality really is. So this is an invitation to understand that we do influence each other very, very strongly, very heavily. And so be mindful of the groups that you are part of, what you're watching, who you're connecting to on social media. Are they sharing things that, again, empower you and inspire you and help you be the best version of you? Or is it diminish you? Because whatever you give your focus on, like an egregor, you're going to energize, you're going to give life force. It's like you're breathing life by giving your attention to these things. So again, it's just a cognition, it's just an awareness. And we're not meant to do this life alone. None of us are. We're here to inspire one another and to show up for another, and to be just our authentic selves. I was grounding today. I go to the gym every other day and ground in nature. Yes, as much as you can be in nature, especially now I'm in the United States, the northern hemisphere of the United States. So we're getting ready to go through our spring equinox. So things are starting to thaw out. It's starting to get brighter outside. So I would invite you to go out in nature and be part of the group think of nature, because I guarantee nature is going to have a whole different conversation and a whole new way of seeing reality. If you could just get off technology, or at least balance it out. Like, I'm not shaming anything. I use technology quite a bit, but I also know when I'm on technology too much, because I start, getting a headache. I start feeling out of balance. So I had to get the grounding mats and the grounding sheets, because I realized I'd rather be grounded as much as I possibly can. Because I know we're in very pivotal times. And as I'm just starting to come online with my own nervous system, with how my own electrical field works, it's like, oh shit, I got to be very diligent on how I'm spending my time, my energy, my current, my focus. Right. Again, I'm having to relearn everything, unlearn to relearn. And it's such a process. And it's not going to happen overnight, but we're eternal beings. So time is our most valuable resource. So spending most of my time learning to nourish myself and to love myself in ways I've never even allowed myself to talk to myself in a loving way. Right. It's just like this reality teaches you to minimize yourself and to, be humble and be of servant and serve something outside of yourself. And being humble is good. I'm not saying humility is not a good thing, but sometimes it could actually be an enemy and keep you from your power. And if right now we're in this time period where we're supposed to be learning Aries and our sovereignty, then yeah, it's not about asking politely anymore for our things. It's commanding in our reality real time with our language and with our intention. And so yeah, we can time travel, we can do all kinds of things, truly. And there's great way showers. I don't know if you guys on this particular channel on the wide tube, there's a great channel called 363 Empire that's got a lot of elderly, beautiful beings who just speak deep knowledge. And that's who I'm gravitating to. I guess it's the Saturn, Aries and Saturn. I want new awareness from the elders that have been doing this for a long time, that have probably been trying to tell us this. But I'm giving $5,000 to the first 7 people inbox me happy birthday. Oh, happy birthday, Austin. If that is your birthday. It's one of my dear friends, Sarah's birthday today. So that's cool that you have share a Piscean birthday. Pisces are awesome people. Actually, most signs. I love all signs, honestly. I see the positive and the negative, or I don't even like that. The agreeable and the disagreeable, because positive and negative we need. I think of like a battery, right? And actually, we need the negative ions to make us feel better. So it's even how the language is inverted, right? It's like we think negative is bad. But meanwhile, when we go out and ground, what we're doing is absorbing the negative ions, which actually benefits our body. So you see how it's such a trickster energy, this mercurial, Thoth type of energy. Thoth is thought, right? So those that understand how thoughts work, and we're influenced by language and symbols. If the symbols have been inverted, this is like, it's a weird game, but we're starting to learn to play the game. We're starting to learn to restore our own cognitive thinking that's grounded in truth and not this disagreeable Pisces fantasy or illusion or straight out lies. We're transcending that. So I feel complete in this transmission as of now. I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick, anybody want to receive a little tune up from the tuning fork? If you have some headphones, that'd be better to receive this. Again, this is 93.96 hertz. It's the Earth's frequency, which is 7.83 hertz multiplied times 12. And this particular tuning fork was created by Eileen McCusick. So you could check her out on her channel. She's an amazing tuning fork healer. She's also a metaphysician. She's an inventor. And I like following people who are actually following their passion and giving to humanity in a very beautiful way. I think it's important right now that we step up and step into sharing our gifts, or our SSB, which I call secret spiritual behavior, right? So I'm constantly tuning and using oils and things. And so I just want to share my practice and share who I'm getting these tools from, in case you also want to receive these tools as well. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead, and if you want to put on your headphones, I'm going to just go ahead and do it 3 times. Yeah, this is to stabilize and to harmonize all your energy fields around you. and to just balance you out, to keep you feeling in homeostasis and connected to your own divine essence and source. That's the intention with this. So please receive in the manner that it's given. Okay. So I'm going to get closer. I think I'm going to get my, because I've got two different mics going. I'm going to put them right next to each other and hopefully you guys can hear it. Okay. Guys. Let me know if you can hear these frequencies. Again, for homeostasis, for balance, for harmony with your cells, just stabilizing all your frequencies, all your chakras, all the spinning wheels of light that you are, that you be, to harmonize, bring you back into homeostasis, to your most loving, vibrationally healthy, abundant self. That's the intention that you may receive in the manner of what this is given. So it is, and so it is, and so it is. Okay, guys. So that was our metaphysical hour here on Livzenastrology. Again, I'm going to be doing another one on Friday night, Friday the 13th. It's divine feminine time. 13 is actually a very lucky number. It's the Hypno-Fucus constellation. We talk about the 12 constellation or 12 divisions of the zodiacal wheel, but then we also have the magical number 13, which to me imbibes with the Christ consciousness, right? Jesus and his 12 disciples. Well, Jesus is the Christ consciousness. It was a beautiful representation, his character, the mythos of Christ, whether he existed or not. He's got an amazing tale, an amazing fable that he talks about how to connect to these frequencies, these consciousness. So if this is something that you're interested in connecting to Friday the 13th, the very divine, sacred just moment and space to acknowledge that we are both magnetic and electric, magnetic being feminine, electric being masculine. We're all of it. We're androgen in that regard, right? There really is no competing of the sexes because we need both of them. You need an AC current, a DC current, like a battery. So, you know, we are living bioelectrical beings here to live our most balanced and again, abundant life, whatever that is for you. So hopefully this helped you get quantum leap into that next version of yourself. And again, tune into the channel tomorrow night, Friday night, for another quantum metaphysical hour. We can have these discussions, and please bring your questions. And Atif Kolb, I really appreciate you keep jumping on the live. You've been here consistently, and I just really want to thank you and just acknowledge you for sharing your most valuable resource, which is your time, because your time really is the most valuable resource you have. You can always get money back and you can always get things back, but you can't get your time back. And so if you spent your time here with this channel with us, then I'm so grateful. And you know what? Maybe just feel it. Maybe don't try to figure it out. Just try to feel it and hopefully allow whatever kind of healing or vibration that you needed, just let it in. Maybe there's some things not to be figured out, they're to be felt. We got to feel things to heal things. So this is bypassing the logic and just really learning to step into our own psychic awareness, our own spiritual natures in our own unique way, even if it's for the first time. And this might be a new experience for those that are just jumping on board with this type of awareness. So thank you for being here. Thank you for connecting to this channel. We'll see you Friday night, again, Friday the 13th, 7 p.m. for another metaphysical hour. And come with your questions. Come, you know, we're building community. This is what it's all about. Oh, good. I'm glad the tuning fork helped you. Yes, yes, yes. I hope that just brought you a little bit of peace, because that's all we can do for one another right now. So I'll see you guys tomorrow night, 7 p.m., guys. All right. Thank you so much for being here. So much love. I'll see you soon. Bye.